Welcome back. The time is 22 minutes past 9, and you're still tuned in to Salam Media with myself, Salalo Makwidiri. And we'll be touching on a very, very important topic, one that a lot of South Africans are very passionate about, the Basic Education Laws Amendment Bill, or BELA Bill for short, which has been a subject of intense debate since its introduction. And recently, President Cyril Ramaphosa signed the bill into law, though two controversial clauses pertaining to admissions and language policy were put on hold. As South Africa celebrates 30 years of democracy, the bill seeks to address long-standing issues in the education sector by enhancing governance, improving access to quality education, and ensuring more South African children can benefit from early education. However, the new law also raises questions about the balance between democratic participation and centralized control in school governance. The amendment introduces very, very important changes, but also continues to spark disagreements, particularly around the power dynamics between school governing bodies and also the Department of Basic Education. And to shed light on the complexities and potential impact of the BELA Bill Act, we are joined today by Professor Phago, Kedibone Phago. He's a political analyst, and he'll help us, discuss the implications and the contentious clauses of the BELA Bill and whether this new legislation will mark a step forward or backward in transforming South Africa's education system. Professor Phago, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Salam Media. Really appreciate you giving us your time this morning.
Good morning, and thanks, Salalo, for having me.
I think the point of departure is exactly my ending part of my intro. The BELA Bill, it looks and sounds like it's something that is really needed. It addresses some key issues, long-standing key issues in South Africa's education sector, but it looks like it hasn't been received quite well by the general public. Why is this? Is it a step forward, or is our education system regressing? What do you make of the BELA Bill generally?
Yes, so I think it's an important conversation we are having. And for me, there are two areas of focus we need to consider in this kind of conversation. The first one is really to criticize the ANC government for the past 30 years in the manner that they have dealt with the question of transforming basic education and making education the Department of Basic Education functional and efficient in making sure that they provide quality basic education and making sure that the entire system is really efficient and effective. So we know that in their earlier years, there were very, important contributions. If we remember the Minister Bengu era and Kada Ashmal, I think those were the period where there were really concerted efforts that sought to make sure that the basic education system itself is really giving it to the South Africans and trying to change the landscape. The landscape has been extremely divisive and extremely problematic because of our apartheid past. So the manner in which the issues of education are presented today have been a contestation of how we correct the past. So I think that is, for me, an important context to understanding where we are today. So what the BELA Bill in part is trying to do is trying to say, can we also try to accommodate many of the people that have been left outside the good education system, because we know that the good education system has only been functioning in towns, in cities, and has really accommodated a very small minority of people in South Africa. So these kinds of changes that are contained in the BELA, to some extent challenge. They are shaking those foundations of the past, and this is partly why we are having these kinds of resistance, in my view.
Mm, mm, mm. And still sticking with that theme, there's been a lot of controversy regarding the two paused clauses related to admissions and also language policies. Why are these clauses so contentious, and how might they affect schools in South Africa? And I'm saying contentious because I think we saw yesterday, that big protests by, those that are against these main components of the BELA bill. What do you make of them? Why do you feel they're so contentious? Number one, the language policies one, and also the schools admissions one.
Look, Salilo, I don't think they should be contentious as they are now. I just think that they have caught the attention of some of the um, extremists in our societies. And they are trying to ride on that, and even to some extent use fear, fear of the unknown, uh, to try and send a very wrong message that the BELA bill is a wrong bill, it's a bill that does not prioritize the interest of the families and of the parents. I don't think that we've had a very sound voices from our education experts that have been very critical on that. But by and large, the education experts on this bill have been, saying largely that this is a very positive bill, because there has been a problem. So part of the major problem in terms of the admissions policy is that largely this has been in the hands of the school governing bodies and the principals. So when you go to schools that have not really transformed to understand the societal dynamics in South Africa of inclusive education. So, in other words, trying to consider people who come from disadvantaged background and would not, under any conditions, be able to access quality education. They feel threatened, and I think for that reason, probably that's why we are having this kind of a conversation of admissions policy. But language is a very important factor, and it really reinforced my point that I'm saying that if we're talking about the historical past of South Africa, the issue of language has been a center of this discourse on the how we teach and which languages do we use. And this is partly why the Constitution is trying to recognize all the 12 official languages in South Africa. And this actually means that we need to find a way of resourcing our languages so that we are able to use them even and equally so within the academic lives of our children. So for me, if we're having groups like this that are mainly representing certain sections of the society but failing to really understand the bigger picture, it is worrying, and we need to call it out very quickly so that they understand that South Africa is a multicultural society that needs to be inclusive. I think for me, the reflections on how we need to criticize government is the much failure that we've seen in transforming our education landscape, providing and resourcing schools. And of course, this was also, compounded by so many corrupt activities that we've seen taking place, in relation to supply chain management, tenders in the education landscape. So I think we need to be sobering up and really talking to issues that will put South Africa on a very strategic developmental trajectory, and not the trajectory that is currently, that I feel that is very divisive and will not build this country for, as per the preamble of our constitution.
No, definitely. And I think we're going to leave it on that note, Prof. Thank you so much for giving us your time. And I think unpacking the misconceptions that a lot of people might have about this BELA bill, we're going to leave it here for now. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Lala. Appreciate the time.
That was Professor Kedibone, Phago, political analyst. And we are asking the question, the BELA bill, is it a step forward or a step back for South Africa's education system? There's been a lot of misconceptions about it. There's been a lot of fiction about it. And I think it's up to us, the residents of South Africa, it's up to parents and, to teachers and all stakeholders that are involved in the education system to kind of educate themselves about the BELA bill and what it's seeks to do. And there's this really cool section 27 button on their website which kind of unpacks the BELA bill. I think you can just check it out. It's on section27.org.za, and they have a resources button where they're basically separating fact from fiction when it comes to BELA bill, and they cover things that are really, really important, from centralized governance, what the BELA bill says, what's fact and what's fiction. There's also covering whether government will decide on the curriculum of schools. They have a section of comprehensive sexuality education, which I think is one thing that a lot of people were concerned about when it comes to, the BELA bill. There's this misconception that, kids will be taught about, all sorts of sexual misconduct and, all kinds of things that young kids shouldn't be taught in schools. And I think, it outlines it really, really well. So go check it out. It's on section 27 and teach yourself. And I think one thing that kind of led to the BELA bill being so much opposed, it was how it was used as a bargaining chip during the elections. A lot of political parties came out and said, this political party supports the BELA bill and this is what the BELA bill is about. So most of it is not true. So go out there. There's a lot of resources. One, which is section 27. You can check out their website, and everything that you need to know about the BELA bill and what it is and what it seeks to do is on there. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, News and Views continues.
We are here in the middle of a Zahra neighborhood. The whole neighborhood is already destroyed. More than 17 towers are down. Here, as you can see, the firefighters trying their best to help. The people are still under the rubble. A lot of the people.
Join Hamza on his exclusive South African tour as he shares his personal experiences, never before seen footage, and powerful insights on the ongoing genocide in Gaza. This is more than just a talk. It's an invitation to witness Gaza through the lens of Hamza Sha'alan. Don't miss this opportunity to meet the photojournalist who brought Gaza's pain and perseverance to the world in its darkest moments. Follow Salam Media on social media pages for more on this tour and be part of the conversation.